your client struggling with anxiety and you feel like talking, having a problem again and again, you know what they're going through. You're understanding their emotions. You're validating it as well. But when it comes to practical insight, practical tools, somewhere you feel a void. You feel what to apply next. So if you're also feeling something like that, then let me walk you through 4 worksheets can be used for anxiety. Every psychologist, every new psychologist, every budding psychologist, a student, a learner, a healer, a coach can use with their clients, which will help their clients understand their anxiety, manage their anxiety, and overcome their anxiety. Because at the end of the day, it is them dealing with their anxiety outside the therapy room. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Aanchal, founder of Therapy Trailblazer Academy, and where I help budding psychologists grow, enhance, become confident, ethical, and client ready. One common fear, one common issue I hear from my own psychology students is this: what do I do after listening? Ma'am, I'm done listening, I'm done with the counseling notes, I've also given certain activities, but what next when I have to deal with the client really going through a strong anxiety? So, lack of structure. Let me share with you a lack of structure, which will not only increase self awareness for the client, but will also help clients continue healing between one session to another session. Okay, so let's explore our anxiety worksheets together, and this will help you to become more client ready and this will boost in your therapy. So, first worksheet should be anxiety exposure hierarchy. When I say anxiety exposure hierarchy, one thing that keeps anxiety alive, we don't have to avoid it, we don't have to control it. All we have to do is manage it. And we cannot expose them to anxiety at very highest top notch. No. And the more we avoid anxiety, the more it is going to be scary, the more the levels are going to increase. So before we go into this exposure part, you can always ask your clients that please rate your anxiety from past 2 days, or maybe today, or maybe from past 3 days. Once we do that, let's come to the directly to the worksheet, which says first we have to identify the situation. What is that situation, that trigger that is causing them anxiety? Then what is that situation that is leading to the anxiety, and number of anxiety, as in the rating of anxiety from that situation? 1, 2, 1 is the lowest, 7 is the highest. So what is that score that client gives? And then stepping from easiest to hardest. First can be like if my client comes and tells me, ma'am, I am very bad in engaging conversations. I cannot have eye contact. I cannot talk to strangers. So that is the situation. Then I tell him, okay, what makes you anxious? What is that anxiety? What score will you give to anxiety? And then I will tell that child, that client, to take one step at a time, maybe waving from the distance, maybe having an eye contact for the second step, and then having a high five in the third step. Fourth step can be engaging in small conversation. And further step can be attending a gathering of 5 people. Next step is, so these steps can be decided in collaboration with the client. And then if that anxiety is something which is related to external situation, this anxiety exposure worksheet hierarchy will do wonders. And additional step to it, we can create and reshift from their anxiety of out external stimulus, and they can become self-aware, and the discomfort will shift it to the ease. So confidence goes through this safe practice, right? Second worksheet and second activity for anxiety can be cognitive restructure worksheet. Cognitive restructuring generally comes in collaboration with CBT. And as you all know that I have been reiterating again about this word CBT because that's a foundation of psychology. Anxiety can be reattached or can be attached with cognitive restructuring, CBT as well. That anxious thought, that situation, that situation, that trigger, which is again external, gives an external thought, gives an anxious thought that can be an automatic thought as well, which will result in which automatic thought which will result in an anxiety, which is an emotion. And then what happens next is a fact or not a fact. So we as a therapist, as a psychologist, are helping them to be having a balanced thought. So for example, if a client says that, ma'am, I am 100% anxious because I have a presentation tomorrow in front of 100 people. So then I'm asking, okay, then if it is a presentation, why do you feel anxious? What makes you think like that? So that client says, ma'am, I feel embarrassed. I feel that I will embarrass myself. Then the further question is, what can you explain that embarrassment means for you, and what emotion do you feel when you are saying that you're embarrassed? So he is answering that I feel anxiety, I feel fearful in front of a lot of people. So now instead of making that client accepting that thought, can we tell and ask the client, what is the evidence? Do you have it in past? There can be evidence once in hundreds that, okay, he goofed up, she fumbled, but that's natural. So we have to find out, tell the client to find out the evidence, the supporting it, that is opposing it. What can be the more balanced perspective? I generally tell my clients to give an alternative thought of it, to opposite thought of it. And it really works wonders. I really clearly remember my client saying, ma'am, this thing really helped me change my thought and perception. And I have really shifted my thought to did the opposite of that thought and really worked. So this is a formula which really always works. Cognitive restructuring worksheet, clubbing with anxiety, right? So the new thought, that is a balanced thought, helping them become more prepared. Okay, I can handle this. Last time I fumbled, let me prepare more. Let me become more practiced. Let me practice more in front of a mirror, and I can handle this. So this is the second worksheet, and small thoughts can bring a big emotional changes, visible effects too. Moving on to third worksheet, which is a self-soothing and a coping skill. In the previous two ones, they had helped them reframe, did some activity, but in this they are becoming prepared for it. The moment they feel anxious, they are so much able to cope up well with it, right? So they are not dependent on outside anyone else, but the logical brain goes offline, and they are analytical brain says, okay, yes, I can do it. I know the different ways of coping. So what are the different ways of coping? Five, four, three, two, one. A favorite of all the psychologists, right? All psychologists, budding students, healers, they know this formula. I'm sure you're also aware of it. So comment below what is this formula is. Grounding formula. Five things the client can see when they are anxious. Four things they can feel when they're anxious. Three things they can hear immediately when they feel anxious. Two things they can smell. And one thing they can say it out loud to themselves at that particular moment. Oh, yes, I can do it. Do you remember that movie, Three Idiots? The statement they say, all is well, all is well. So, yeah, these are the five. This is one of the ways how to cope up with their anxiety is the best formula, the grounding skills. Second is calming skills. They can focus more on breathing. Tell them to focus more on breathing. Tell them to focus more on the relaxation part. Release their shoulders. Tell them to be very mindful about it. About look around the colors. Look around people there to support them. These are the calming skills. You have to tell your clients to apply these skills. Okay. And next, like I said, look around. Who are the people they can reach out to, their support system? Who are the list of the people they can call to immediately when they're feeling anxious? That brings to our next worksheet, which is graded exposure worksheet. What is graded exposure worksheet? This helps them to face a specific fear. Anxiety can be because of any fear too, right? It is underlying fear. It is a direct phobia. So fear and phobia are different. We are just right now understanding that how a graded exposure worksheet works. A fear happens. What is that small step they do or they take? What is that prediction? What will happen? What can go wrong? And then what is the actual outcome? So, for example, a fear of driving alone. Prediction is I will lose control because last time I this happened. Prediction, they are predicting it. I'll panic. What is a small step? I let me drive around my neighborhood first and let me have just see if I get a panic or not. What is actual outcome? You You felt anxious, the client felt anxious, but it's under control because he knew my house is right there. I can manage it. I can quickly park and go there. Okay. So the learning is anxiety feels uncomfortable, but yeah, can be handled, can be coped up well. So these are the small steps. So that is a graded exposure. Rather than directly exposing to the 10th, I will expose it to the first and see the outcome and accepting the outcome and doing some tweaks and going to the next step. So how do you introduce these worksheets in therapy? The listening part is done, the validating part is done. Now, how can I tell my clients? So don't tell your clients, okay, take the sheet, do it when you're anxious. We can't do that, right? Instead, let's explore this together. Let's see how patterns emerge. Let's see when you face this fear of yours, how do you feel? So, when did you discover this? What surprised you? These kind of small questions and answers help them become more aware, help them reconnect to you, help them reconnect themselves back with them. The worksheet is not a therapy. The conversation around it creates transformation. This is our particular role of a psychologist and a therapist. So we have to create transformation through our compassion. Okay. So in this entire video, what all we learned? We learned anxiety exposure hierarchy, we learned cognitive restructuring worksheet. We learned coping skills and self-soothing plan, grounding, calming skills, and we understood about graded exposure worksheets. So understand this. Great therapists don't just create awareness. What do? They make their clients aware, empowered. They give skills to their clients. They give confidence to their clients. So goal is not that the client is always dependent on therapists, psychologists. The goal is to help your clients become their own support system, create their support system. So if you're a psychologist student or a budding therapist, so comment anxiety toolkit. I will try to share some practical tools, resources with you. Save this video for your future resources and don't forget to subscribe this channel.